Joe, you left here last Friday night down 2-0, and it didn't look really good.
No.
What do you attribute to just the total turnaround in this series?
Just the fight in our club. We win a game 1-0. That's a tremendous pitcher's duel, and you think about how that went about. Tanaka throws a tremendous game, and Greg Bird hits a homer off of Andrew Miller, who doesn't give him up. Come back the next day and you win. Sevy pitches a good game, and our team just – I just look at our at-bats, the at-bats that Didi had today, the at-bats that Girardi had. There's just a ton of fight in this club, and it's a great mixture of youth and veteran players that are leading the way, and it's hard to believe because we just beat a really, really good team.
Right here in the first row, Joe.
Joe, what do you make of Didi's at-bats, the 2 home runs? I believe he was down, 0-2 and 1-2, 0-1?
He got a bunch of 2-out hits today. He's – it's interesting. We put him in the 4th slot because we had some injuries. We lost Hicks, we lost Castro, and we lost Holiday all at the same time. And it just, we were trying to spread out left-handers, and he seemed to thrive in that position and became an RBI machine for us. And we've left him up in the order, against – these guys, I started thinking that we need to separate our righties. But Didi's at-bats were great. They've been great all year. This is a guy that drove in, almost 90 runs and missed a month of the season. And it's pretty remarkable, the season that he's had for us. And the double play that he turned on Lindor, that is not an easy play. And without his arm strength, he doesn't do that. And that could be, different, could change the game.
Other questions for Joe? Right here.
Chapman, another save of more than 1 inning success tonight. Can you just talk about his willingness to do that?
Chappie wants to win. Chappie's a winner. And, that's why we went out and got him again, because we knew that he was really, really good at what he did. And he was obviously pitched in the World Series and loves the competition. And, his innings were great this whole series. And everybody, everyone played a part in this. I don't think there's anyone that didn't play a part in this, and that's the great thing about it. And the fight in these guys, so proud of them.
On the red jacket right here.
Joe, Ron Potesta, the Sports Animal 1390 in Youngstown. A couple of things. Number one, the last time you were here, you had many, many questions about a lot of things. Talk about the emotions now that you're feeling, now that you've come all the way back to win the series. And I don't know if anyone had asked you, because I came a little late. Talk about Gardner's at-bat, because that may have been the best at-bat I've ever seen.
Well, the 2 at-bats, the one he had off of Miller, too, was just a tremendous at-bat. And to be able to add those runs, you start – for me, I start to worry when you have a long inning and you don't score that it affects your pitcher going back out there. Chappie ended up walking the first guy, and I was like, if we're going to have these long at-bats in this really long inning, we need to score some runs. And just a great at-bat by Girardi, a heads-up play by Frazier, and to be able to tack on 2 runs was really important. But, the emotions from – I'm trying to think when we were here Friday. The difference between Friday and today is about as big as you can get. I don't know at any point in my career that I felt worse than I did on Friday. And as I've expressed many times, it's the hurt for the other people that is so hard for me. So the emotions, these guys had my back, and they fought, and again, they beat a really, really good team.
The second row, Andrew.
Joe, I got 2 questions. The first one, after game 2, did the players or anybody in particular say something to you that stuck with you that was important to you going into game 3 and so forth?
No, well, I met with the club before we went into that game and talked about just winning one game and how all year long that I've believed in them from the day we left spring training, and I believe in them now, and that you've always had good at-bats, you've grinded out pitches when you're on pitching, and you've never quit. And continue to have each other's back, and let's win one game. And Todd Frazier was the first guy that said something, let's go. And that did stick out in my mind. I'll never forget that because, again, I was about as low as I could be as a baseball player or baseball coach or whatever I was. And, it's been Friday. It happened on Friday. I've been carrying this burden for 5 or 6 days. It's hard. If we lose on Sunday, it really hurts. If we lose on Monday, it really, really hurts. And if we would have lost today, it probably would have hurt even worse. So for me, what those guys did for me, I'll never forget it.
And did you address game 2 in that meeting?
Yeah, I told them I screwed up. Plain and simple. I mean, there's no running around it, and I thought, I mean, I make mistakes. I'm human. I wish I would have had another 15 seconds, but I didn't, and I'll learn from it.
And
Now I might be throwing challenges out every play.
to your right, Joe.
I know CC didn't get the win, but he really kept their bats in check until the 5th. What do you think of his performance?
Just again, that's CC. That's who he is. That's been who he's been his whole life. The guy that you can count on. And he did it again tonight. I mean, this is a very good offense. I mean, everyone wants to talk about their pitching. Their offense is really, really good too. And we were able to hold them in check for the most part.
I think Andrew Didi's on his way down. Go ahead.
I'm going to ask you about Didi. Just can you describe what he did tonight?
Well, I mean, just a huge lift. To give us a lead, and then to give us a 3-0 lead was even bigger. And one of the bigger plays might have been the double play he turned. So DT had an incredible night tonight, and that's the other thing. It's come from different places. And you get in the playoffs sometimes, and you look up, and the guy's hitting 150 or 200, but they won a game for you by themselves, and that's the way it is. And that's the great thing about this team. There's so many players that can do it, and tonight it was Didi.
I'll take a last quick one to your left.
Going into the season, there was a lot of talk of the future of this team. Maybe not so much on the present and what you guys could do this year. Does it make that more satisfying that you kind of beat the odds a little bit?
Yeah, well, I don't look at it as beating the odds, because I said from day one when the season started, I thought we could be really, really good and fight for our division. And we did that because I saw the talent. I got a little depressed when Didi got hurt in the World Baseball Classic, but, someone picked him up. Torreyes picked him up. And then when Sanchez went down, and Romine picked him up. And guys just kept picking each other up. And I thought they kept growing and maturing as players. And, yeah, I mean, it's, we believed. Not everyone believed in us, because I don't think people knew what you were going to get out of an Aaron Judge. I don't think people knew what you were going to get out of a Gary Sanchez or a Luis Severino. But we really believed in our players, and they have made all the difference. All this whole team, what everyone has contributed, has made the difference.